Hi, welcome to my balcony garden. We're going to talk about today. Hi guys, I'm back again. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about um, propagation, or duplicating a plant, right? Now, when you're growing things that you like, you don't have no longer have to really buy seeds anymore. You can do a couple of things. You can take a cut-in from the plant, and I did this with my tomato. I took a cut-in. I don't know if you see the roots there, right? They're the roots from my tomato. This is a cut-in from my tomato plant that I took. I put it in my hydroponic, and it was in there about not even 7 days, and it started to grow roots, right? So if you want it to grow roots fast, put it in your hydroponic system. I'm going to plant this one. This is what I'm going to plant because now it has roots. Now it can grow, right? So I have a pot here waiting to plant it in. And I'm going to plant this tomato. I have so many tomatoes, it's not funny. I'd ended up buying three tomato plants and some seeds. And what I did was, the 3 tomato plants, I had I think it was 2 or 3 off of the tomato plants, or 4 that grew into, that I took cut-ins and promulgated them, right? This tomato, let me show you. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this tomato here, this one right here, I grew it from seed, right? This tomato, and I started this tomato plant in my hydroponic. It was started in my hydroponics. It started to get too big, and I transferred it to dirt. And now it's growing in the dirt, right? I've done it. It's been here for a little bit. So, yeah, this plant, the reason why it's shaped that way, because it started in my hydroponic system. And now I pinched the top so it wouldn't grow too tall, because I didn't want this to grow too tall in my hydroponic system. So after it started getting real bushy, I said, you know what, let me take it out, right? Because I could have really still managed it in my hydroponic system by pruning it down, and let it focus on the fruit and let it bear fruit. I could have done that, but I didn't. I just said, you know what, it wants to grow big, take it out, let it grow big in dirt. And that's what I did. So if you have a hydroponic system, you can intertwine your plants from the hydroponic to dirt, from dirt to the hydroponics. Now, if you're taking it from dirt to the hydroponics, like I did with a starter plant, a transfer plant, make sure before you put it in your hydroponic system that you wash the roots well. Put it in water, get out all the dirt off the roots, then you can put it into your hydroponic system, right? I've done that, and the plant has taken off. It was red romaine lettuce, and I'm still eating off of that to this day. I had about 4 or 5 salads off of it already, and it's still going strong, right? Still growing more leaves for me to cut. So that I really enjoyed the purple romaine lettuce. If anyone, I think I'm going to promulgate that one too, right? Or you could let it bolt and go to flower and take the seeds. Now, when you take the seeds from a fruit or something that bears, like whatever bears, you take the seeds and you grow another one, you're not guaranteed the same taste of the fruit that the other one beared, right? But if you promulgate it, you're like duplicating the plant. So if you love certain things that you're growing in your garden, let me express for you to take cut-ins and start growing a second one. And it's good to have a second and a third. And here's why. If something happens to your first plant, you have more. that you can, rely on. And you don't have to just rely on that one, because if something happens to that one, that's it, it's gone. And you love the plant and you're like, wow, I should have promulgated it. Yes, you should have promulgated it. If you have plants and let's say vegetables or stuff, fruits, even fruit trees, you can promulgate, right? So if there's something that you really truly love and you want more of it, right? Nature has a way of you being able to promulgate it and make it and duplicate it. And that way, if you duplicate it once or twice, have 3 of them, right? If something happens to the first one, you still have 2 more, right? And then you can promulgate again off of the 2 that you have. Or, if you, yeah, let's say I started off with 3 store-bought, excuse me, 3 store-bought tomatoes, right? I bought the little transfer ones. They got real big. I know you see them in my video. If you look at the beginning, the intro to my video, you'll see them, right? They grown real big. And the third one is it's a romaine tomato, and it's not as large as the other 2, but it's still pretty large, right? I put it in a smaller pot so it wouldn't get that large, but it did get large. But I say that to say, every time I trim my trees, because I prune my tomatoes, every time I prune it, I look for good cuttings that I can maybe promulgate. And that's what I do. That's how I got this one that I just replanted. You saw the root system on it. I promulgated it in my hydroponics, and that's how I'm going to start promulgating, because it's faster, easier. You just take the cut in, clean it off, put a little aloe on the end, and stick it in the hydroponic system. And the aloe is good for the plants, right? So that's what I did, and that's how I got that one real fast. Because I'm a person, I don't like to wait too much, but who does? We're in a time where everything is instantaneous, right? But yes, if someone gives you a cut-in, if you like a plant that a friend has, get a cut-in, promulgate it, you will have the same plant. And then you can take a cut-in from that plant once it's starting to grow and looks big and healthy. You can take cut-ins from that plant and make more. So I say that to say, usually if you buy one item of a certain plant, you can make more of it. Or if you grow one item from seed of a certain plant, or get a cut-in from someone of a certain plant, you can duplicate and duplicate and duplicate. You can make more. So that way you never have to go out and buy that plant again, right? I bought some lemon balm. The lemon balm spreads like mint. I took cut-ins. I made 3 or 4. I made 4 or 5, I think 4 plants from the lemon balm. Then I went ahead and gave one of them away, right? I say that to say, growing makes it easy for you to duplicate. Nature makes it easy for you to duplicate. Now, remember, we also have pests in nature that will love to eat off of your plants and stuff, right? You might not catch it in time. And that's why I say duplicate them. If you duplicate them and put them in different areas, if something happens to one, you still have 2, and then you can promulgate again, right? Always having a never-ending supply of what you want. And if you live up north where it gets winter and you don't have a greenhouse, which is if I was to live up north, that would be one of the things I would need, is a greenhouse where I can winterize my plants. Put them inside the greenhouse and don't have to worry about them dying. They could still live in the greenhouse, right? Certain plants that I love and would like to keep. But I'm down south and I don't have to worry about that, because we don't really get a harsh winter. I'm in 10B11, somewhere in there. Yeah, that's my zone, 10B11 zone. And we don't get much of a winter, which is cool, I love that. So I prefer to take cut-ins, make more plants, and this way I don't have to worry. I'm up to the stage now that the only thing I need for my garden is, like, if I see something unusual that I would like to have and grow, that would be the only thing that I would need, right? I saw some pineapple mint and strawberry mint and chocolate mint, and I went ahead and got the seeds for those. They were hard to start in the dirt, and that's another thing the hydroponic is good for, starting seeds that are hard to start, right? So I put those seeds in my hydroponic. Now I have the pineapple mint growing. I did a cut-in, dried it out, have it in a jar to make tea with. The strawberry is starting to grow up big also. Pretty soon I'll have to cut that, dehydrate it out so I can make tea with that. And then I have the chocolate mint growing, which the chocolate mint to me smells a little like basil. I don't know. I will taste it to see if it really tastes like chocolate mint, but we'll see. I'm a little iffy on that one, right? So I say that to say, once you get it off and running and it starts to grow and it's strong, take a cut in and duplicate it. Simple. Take a cut in, duplicate it, right? So that way, like I said, you have more than one. And if something happens to that one plant, you have another one there, or two other ones, which you could always take a cut in and create another one again, right? So this was my little, this was just to let you know, once you start a garden and get it going, it's not going to cost that much. Like I said, if you're up north and you know they're going to die, when they bolt, take the seeds, right? Take the seeds for the next year, or take some of the plant. You could also do this if you're up north. You could take a cutting off the plant before it dies, promulgate it, put it in a pot, and bring it inside until next summer. You could do that if you have an area in your house where you could put them, either by a sunny window, under a grow light, or if you have a hydroponic kit and you promulgate it in the hydroponic and you put it in a pot and you plant it, just put it right next to the hydroponics where the light is, and it will absorb the light. Because some of my house plants I put right by my hydroponic kits to get the light from that, right? So those are a few tips. If you have any comments, leave them down below, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. Thank you, and have a great day. If you have not subscribed, please do so now. Hit that like button for me so that other people can see this video. Thank you, and have a great day.